Greetings, Foothills Presbytery. This is the Reverend Cecelia D. Armstrong, Associate Pastor at St. James Presbyterian Church in Charleston, South Carolina, on the lovely James Island, but also the co-moderator of the 226th General Assembly of the Presbyterian Church USA. Please know how heartbroken I am that I am not with you for this meeting. I am currently still, as I am talking, I hope to be stateside by the time you see this video. I was doing monitorial duties in Trinidad and Tobago, and my flight was delayed. And in all my efforts to get to you by 9 a.m. in the morning, did not happen. So, plan B. Make a video. The actual intent was to preach the whole sermon right here in the middle of the airport, but for fear that I would be competing with all the other sounds that were here, it was best that I not do that. And then I thought about all those questions that you offered me, asking about the hope and the future of our denomination and where things are. So I definitely wanted to bring you some symbols of hope and some thoughts about some of those. I don't have exact answers because, as a matter of fact, the Reverend Tony Larson, who I share this role with, we don't do Q&A because that means questions and answers. Well, what we really do are Q&R, which are just questions and responses. The answers that we all have happen to go together with how the Holy Spirit guides and leads each of us. In fact, that's what's true for our denomination. All the things that are happening, all the changes, all the uproar about the differences of how things are to move forward, all of that relies on us trusting the Holy Spirit, trusting that what God has in store for us is indeed for us. And so that does give me hope. That gives me hope because our young people are no joke. If you have ever spent any moments in time at Montreat, you know that our young people are extremely excited about what it is to carry on the work of Jesus Christ. Not just the work of our churches and the work of particular sessions that like particular things, but the work of Christ, to be the actual hands and feet of Christ. And for me, that gives me hope. In fact, when we were in Palestine, one of the persons who spoke with us someone asked her about hope, and does she have hope? And she stopped and looked at all of us quite strangely and said, "Of course I have hope. I'm a Christian." Then later she said, "And anyone who is a Christian and doesn't have hope need to change religions." The hope that we have can be in several ways. One of the ways it can be in our continued theological education. I saw you had a question about that. And what we have to do is continue to empower people to use all of the resources for becoming leaders in our denomination. We have been for so long called to separate ourselves and go off to seminary, and after doing seminary for a certain period of time, then we would all get called to some great steeple church somewhere, and that's not reality anymore. Tent making is reality. Being led to hold two careers at the same time. The new worshiping communities that are not counted as members of our denomination actually make our denomination look like we're growing if we actually count them as members. So it is within those ranges that we will have an opportunity to keep going forward in the future. But let me tell you something else too. I know we are so excited about our youth that are coming up, but I also want to talk to some of you pastors and elders who have been around forever and ever and ever and ever. Although I'm grateful for all the work you have done, I do want to pose a question for you. Have you trained your replacement yet? I'm not asking you to be replaced, but I'm asking you to train your replacement so that The legacy you leave will live long after you're gone. I think that's one of the things that Tony and I worked on collectively in our understanding of what this journey to serve was all about. Of course, that was the title of the sermon that I was supposed to give to you on this day. But Tony and I used a car as our theme item. The C stood for communication, the A stands for alignment with God's will, and the R stands for relationships. If we're going to communicate about the future of the church, we have to talk to people we don't normally talk to. So I'm encouraging you, talk not only to our youth and young adults, but talk to the strangers, the people we don't know as members of the church. Talk to the people that don't look like you. Talk to the people that don't dress like you. Not because you are there to help them through something or to do something for them, but that you do something with them. Because ministry together is aligning with God's will and way for us. Have you ever noticed that whenever Christ did anything, it was to bring community together? Not based on all the people that are just alike already, but all the people that are not alike. He did things in community so that folks could see exactly how Paul tells us in all the epistles that our work is a community item. Our gifts are for the community. That's because we're supposed to all work together to do this work, to align with God's will. And that requires us to build relationships with one another as we know each other, but to build relationships with people we don't know. To build relationships with the very people who will replace us when we're gone. That's why I encourage you to train your replacement. So hopefully these greetings from Trinidad, that's where I am right now, hopefully they will reach you. Hopefully you will feel my love for you and my sadness that I could not be with you. But know this, I love you. And there's nothing you can do about that. And know this too, that there are thousands to tell you that it cannot be done. There are thousands that will prophesy failure. There are thousands that will point out to you one by one all the dangers that wait to assail you. Just buckle right in with a bit of a grin, without any doubting or quitting. Just start to sing as you tackle the things that couldn't be done, and you'll do it. Friends, may God bless you and keep you. Until we do meet again, hopefully sooner than later. Bye for now.